So, right back we go to Aurora Shores here in Way the Hunter, and definitely not walking past this particular part of the Trophy Lodge for any reason at all. But after that hunt, what was by far our best hunt ever here on Aurora Shores, I wanted to just get back out here and keep it going. And I had mentioned when we spotted our two separate 3-star adult bison that I'd like to just hit Aurora Shores hard, age them up to 5-star if they're going to get there, and hopefully take them out, because there are changes coming to the age cycles of a number of species, and I believe bison are going to be one of them. They live to like 22 years old, and I think that's going to be shortened, and I just don't know how those changes may affect things already on the map. So that's another reason that I want to get out here and keep on hunting this map. And I mean, the way we're going with 2 5-star caribou in a row and a 4-star Sitka right there, I think maybe it's a good idea. I don't know if this is habitat they have a chance to get there, but that's interesting. He's not a big 4-star by any stretch. He's actually still a 4x4, so I don't think he's going to get to 5-star, but that's honestly cool to see in this spot. This is a herd that I've largely just ignored because I didn't think it was primary habitat, and I've never seen anything better than a 2-star in here. Maybe if we keep managing it, because every now and then we do end up shooting something like what we just did. A 2-star mature, maybe a 1-star mature. Maybe there is a chance of them getting there. This is grasslands habitat, which is definitely not their primary, but maybe there's a chance we get one here. That'd be a pretty cool way to get a 5-star Sitka. As for this guy, notably gray 2-star and way low, I don't think that's actually where that hit. Because we were right on the 0 range, and I don't think we aimed that low. We didn't hit the brain though. But it might be the bullet cam bug that shows it hitting a little bit lower than it did. 42% though, might as well take that out of there, because we know the 4-star is going to be higher than that. And not a bad way to start. It is almost feed time, and I like to know the feed zone locations of some of these animals, particularly ones that we're watching, because if they don't show up to the drink zones that we know, it's another potential spot to find them later in the day. Well, I don't know what that's doing there, but it's not exactly impressive. A 1-star mature that looks pretty gray, and I think we might have to go for 2 headshots in a row. I mean, the 300 can get a lung shot there. Maybe we'll do that instead, just because that'd be a little bit more realistic. But what I meant by that I wanted to kind of look for feed zones and know where they are, is that we don't have the feed zone for the herd of bison that has the 2 3-star adults, which last I checked were actually 3-star matures now. So I gotta think they're down in there. I've got the drink zone marked. We might be able to see them from here if we look closely, but we'll worry about finding our elk first. But unsurprisingly, taking a not so great angle shot leads to a much longer track that was just a left lung shot, and it did plenty of damage to the left lung, but I guess at that angle, it just didn't hit the left lung with as much energy as you'd want, so it took longer to bring it down. But 21%. Definitely good to take that out regardless of where it was at. And now we just gotta go back to where we were standing. And that very well might be them. It's within reason, probably like 800 yards from their drink zone, but their actual herd icon is up here, which kind of ends up making it almost a triangle to where that's at. We'll move in and see. But if we've got 3 or potentially 4-star matures, we've passed a few years since we last saw them, we'll know that's them. I don't think there's anything we can actually take out, but just knowing where that zone is at is really important going forward. If we get to where they're 5-stars and they're just not at their drink zone, we know where we can find them later. Now that is interesting. He's a 3-star. This one's a 4-star. They are the exact same age. They hit mature at the same time. So this one must have really great genetics. Another thing I've noticed, because I've been waiting for this guy to walk out from behind that hill for a while, this is a 1-star adult, and he basically has invisible horns. This is a 1-star young, and he's got great looking horns. Now this could very well be a bug, but we're gonna just shoot this adult and see what happens. My guess is, if everything's working correctly, he should be pretty low genetic potential. I don't know with the 1-star young having horns that big, if that's actually feasible, that could be bugged. But let's go and see. We know we got 2 good ones here anyway, so if it is a really big one, or a potential future really big one, and we shoot him now, it's okay. But I want to know for the future, when we see stuff like that, should we take him out? Because animals like bison, where there's not a really obvious, uneven with antlers and stuff that you get on other species, knowing what to take when they're younger helps a lot, because they do get very old, at least for now, till they change it. But along the way, we do now have the feed zone for them, so that's going to help a lot. And as for this guy, we'll see if taking one that appears to be quite small is actually a good idea. Ended up lungshotting him there at 130. He was 62%, which is decent-ish and maybe what you'd expect for a lower-end one in a herd that's got some really high genetic potential males. So we'll see. I really want to know what that 1-star young turns out to be, but that is going to be forever and a day till we actually know. I've reached this point, by the way, with Grey Wolves, where I'll try to just do a high fitness call anytime that we get a warning call from them, because I can never sneak in close enough to spot them before the pack just takes off. So hopefully one day we end up getting a 5-star. There's some really cool mounts here on Aurora Shores for the Trophy Lodge that I'd like to get a 5-star wolf or several for, and we basically never even get to spot the things. So at least we had a 2-star mature coming in. There is a chance that that one was actually coming in. That's a female. And I mean, who knows? They really came from over in here, but that 2-star was coming in. It was an obvious call one, and I mean, maybe there was a good one in there, but I figured we'd take him while he was standing there. I'm pretty sure for the wolves you need at least a 3-star mature to have a chance. That guy was a 76%, which is decent. Maybe not the best one to take out, actually. Depends on what else was in there, but maybe that will contribute in the future. And again, because we don't do a lot of managing for them, because we just don't have a lot of opportunities, I think that's probably okay to take. And I mean, here we go again with another Caribou with potential. Now he looks maybe kind of gray. I don't know if I'd say too gray though, and he's actually got the same basic frame as our 2 5-stars. I want to say I had seen this guy as a 3-star, and he clearly aged when our 5-stars aged, and now got to 4. There is beside him a 2-star mature. I don't know if it's the angle because he's laying down. The 4-star looks about twice the size of him, which maybe is a good thing, but I guess, I don't know, that's even a young mature. You can tell he's quite brown. Let's get a little bit closer before we make any rush decisions here. It is the only thing I can see, and even now that it's the opposite, the 2-star laying down and the 4-star standing, it is a notable difference in body size, but I guess we'll go ahead and try to take this guy. Weird angle, but doable. No tracking needed there. I think he's actually uneven too, so probably for the best. That'll be interesting to see if that guy gets there, because like I said, he was a little bit gray, but I would have said the 4-star that ended up being our first 5-star ever was pretty darn gray, so that'll be a spot to keep an eye on. This, I think, is mountains too, or Highland Forest even, which is primary habitat for them. Maybe he gets there. But then our 2-star, which now that we're up here definitely is uneven. He's got like much more mass through the tops on his right side. He was, if we can claim him, a 64% that we actually shot right into the spine. Explains why he dropped immediately, but we'll take that. Go ahead and sell him, and it is about 7 p.m., so I think we'll rest the morning. I actually want to go to the southeast island and check on the Sitka deer. We had spotted, I think, in the video where we had our 2 4-star Caribou, we had spotted 2 4-star Sitka. We know the Caribou aged. I've not been down there to check on the Sitka deer, but maybe we can finally get a 5-star Sitka deer as well. But our first stop brings us to the main lake here. We have a 2-star mature Sitka that we might as well go ahead and take out. I switched up our loadout, so if we do in fact end up with a 5-star, we've got the crossbow and we'll be able to take it out with that. So this dude we'll take with the 30-06. It's still capable on class 6 animals, so should we find a 5-star rosebud elk or even a call elk that we want to take, we can go with the 30-06, and then the crossbow for any other potential cool things we find down here. And the good thing is the 30-06 really isn't even overkill on things like Sitka deer. That guy, which we shot through the top of the right lung, was actually a 79%. I'm surprised he's that high. Encouraging then for the other ones around here, but it still only weighs about 2 pounds of meat, so it's pretty much the perfect weapon when we're trying to do something like this. And really quickly, I decided to come to this big lake first. Number one, in case any Sitka deer were still moving into their zones, we may check a spot that the ones that we're after aren't into yet. The other reason is, this is one of the best lakes for Kodiak bear, and as we're hopefully beginning to check things off the list of 5-stars we don't have, Kodiaks I'm going to wait on. We know predators are getting life cycle changes with the next update, and rather than try to get something that lives to an age of like 27 years old now, we'll worry about hopefully hunting them when that life cycle is diminished. But, moment of truth, that's a pretty good looking buck right out there. Maybe he's actually gotten to 5-star. Now, actually both of them. Those look like 5-stars taken to me. I've seen a number of screenshots, Could they both have made it? They're still a little bit too far out the spot. We gotta run like 30 yards down. But we'll take a peek and see if maybe we actually have got an opportunity here to, well, call in one. I don't know how we're gonna do that if they're both there. Try to call in one, take it with the crossbow, and maybe get the other with the 30-06. That's a 5-star Sitka. Can we spot the other one? He's directly behind him. I don't know, because it went away and came back. Maybe they're both 5 stars? Either way, we gotta get down there and start calling one in. And we can find out if they both are there when we get a little bit closer, but that's pretty cool. I was wondering if they'd get there time after time, much like the Caribou. We'd have like 2 4-stars here, and I think we're gonna get it, and they'd both die. This time, they may well have both made it. That is enough confirmation for me. Both are 5 stars. We gotta get in maybe to 200 yards. I'd like to make it an easy path for them to walk down, but if we just kind of bring them right down the side of this lake, we should be able to call them into crossbow range. Depending on how they come in, if one is way out ahead, we can take it with the crossbow and quickly cycle to the 30-06 and get the other. I really want to get one of every 5-star on this map with the crossbow, so definitely first one is going to be with that. But let's go ahead and start rattling. See if we can get them to come in this way. That's not good. I don't think this deer is going to be from the same herd. If it is, I mean, I don't know how he wouldn't spook. We'll have to see what it is, but that could mess up the whole thing here. They're both coming in just perfectly. A little bit closer together than I would have liked, but they were standing basically side by side, so that's not a shock. What is this? Not a 5-star. He's not bad. That's a 2-star mature. Maybe he won't spook? This is kind of what I'm hoping he'll do. If he just walks around and looks at us and we don't move, maybe he hangs around till these guys get into shooting range. We gotta get him probably another 40, 50 meters yet, though. I don't know why, but he's just walking away. If we get away with this, this will be insane. And if he tries to come back, maybe we go for a slightly longer shot. But look at the size of these guys. They're the same general frame, but it's like super, super wide set. 50 yards away is doable. Can still hear that guy kind of walking around on our left, but if we can get him to 30, we'll go for it. If that other one appears again, we may go a little bit further. Let's go ahead and zero the crossbow, though. Get it for maybe 27. We'll see what happens, because I can... Yeah, that guy's sneaking a little bit closer. I think we better go 33. Maybe we can just slot this right in there? Perfect. Can we... Now, that guy's going to take off pretty fast, so I don't think we're going to try to risk a shot like that on another 5-star Sitka with the 30-06. Depending on what happens, we may try to just call him in as well then. We'll see, because that other guy definitely messed us up. I'm not going to lie, that was a little bit worrying, I guess, to take that shot as we did without ranging him again. But I was afraid that other one might have just taken off. It's going to make for a tough trophy shot. That's funny the way the bull's sitting in there. I'm thinking that's maybe not exactly how it hit. But I mean, I can live with that. One antler's not showing. I got a really good screenshot of him on his way in though, which I'll put on the screen here right before we take a peek. But the way this bolt's looking, I just don't think that's actually where it hit. It is though kind of on the side, not kind of sticking up through the shoulder like it showed though. Right in the right lung at 34 yards. I mean, 0 for 33. Could not ask for that to have gone any better. 96%. He might be a pretty darn good one, and we don't even know what the other one is yet. 488. With a max of 500. That is a pretty massive first 5-star. Because to think about it, as I mentioned, all those times, we had multiple 3-stars here, they'd get to 4-star, I'd think, finally 5-star Sitka's on its way, and they'd die. So those were probably in the 80s somewhere. To go from, say, 85, 86%, maybe not even that high, to 96, with nothing in between, is wild. But obviously our management's worked. Now things get tough though. They're not just going to be at a lake. What we're going to do is slowly crouch forward, just move around, probably 100 cents on, listen for any, a call would be great, that tells us exactly what species and where, but any sticks breaking, just an idea of where to look. Is there like a deer? Something is making a lot of noise. Right here? And now it stops, so I don't know what it was, but anyway. Just gonna slowly take our time, move through the forest, and hope to get a clue from them to try to know when to call and bring the other one in. That could be them? We've got an elk back here calling too that's not really making things any easier, but generally speaking, that's basically the direction they went and the distance adds up. Now the wind here is just awful, so I don't even know if we'll go crossbow, but if we sneak to, I don't know, 200 or so from about where that sound came from, which was 260 away, hit the high fitness call, maybe he comes walking out. If we gotta go 30-06, we will. That's probably confirmation that they're coming in. Now, is it the right herd? I don't know. But at least it's Sitka deer. It's their drink time, so there shouldn't just be random Sitka up there. I think he's coming in. I think we're gonna zero the crossbow for like 40 or 45, whatever we can do so it's ready. Because that's about the distance things spook when they're directly downwind, at least in my experience. Well, that's not what I was hoping to see. I mean, the good news is he's coming way closer. That's got to be that 2-star. I don't know why we can't spot him, but I think it's fine to take a 2-star mature. We did just shoot that one that was pretty high genetics, but that at least kind of gets him out of the way. And nothing else spooks, so clearly they were separate herds. He was, I don't know, coming in on his own. That was a mature Sitka. A doe, though. Wait. Maybe that's the herd, and they may have been sneaking into our left. Again, there shouldn't just be Sitka over there. There's no water there. It's their drink time. Maybe that was them. We'd have been set up in a terrible spot if he actually was coming in. This guy we long shot, and he was a 67%, so actually a good one to take out. It may not have worked exactly like it was supposed to, but he still may have led us to him. I could almost convince myself that's him. Or one of those two. Might be him. That looks like that wide set rack. I just don't know. There were some more twigs snapping down in these trees, and I've been sitting here calling, but nothing's called back, nothing's come in. Which does mean we need to be careful. Maybe there's elk or something else down there, but I don't know, maybe. I mean, they ran right across the hill down that way. It just would be weird if they kind of filtered in with another herd, but maybe that's what happened. I think that actually is him. That's a 5-star Sitka. We spooked something down through there. So maybe we just go for the shot. My only thing is, what is that? We gotta scoot a little bit closer to find out. I think it's probably a 4-star. It is a 4-star, so we'll have to check on that area again, but now he's facing us. We spooked something else here too. We better just go for this. Because if that runs over there and spooks him, who knows where we may encounter him again. He is turning broadside as well. I hate taking that shot while standing, but I don't think if we could have crouched, it would have been a very clear shot. We'd have been shooting through this. I can't believe he was like down there with other deer. If that was him, hard to really know if it was. You would, maybe there's 3 5-star Sitka on the map at the same time. That'd be wild though. I'm not sure we're going to get much of a photo here, unfortunately. I mean, maybe it won't look too bad laying in the water, but I don't know. I think that's the right one. I do remember the kind of ivory tines, but we'll go back and watch the footage and just see, because we may have another one to find. But the good news is, this is not like the end of the age cycle. There's still another day to go. So if we do have to just find them in their zone again, that is something we can do. I don't think we're going to make it look much better than that, unfortunately, so we'll just go as is. But managed to right lung shot him there at 288 with the 30-06, so go figure. Grabbing the 30-06 to pair with the crossbow was actually quite a good move. 94% for him, which kind of fits with what we saw in the previous herd, and a 479. I really want to know what's going on. And that other 4-star too, I don't know how gray he was. It didn't look that bad. He might get there. So one thing to definitely do is just mark this lake on the map and kind of zoom out a little bit. Well, that kind of blocks it, but we'll take a screenshot just so we know to check here again. And probably we'll stop right back down here and check on the initial herd just in case. That was insane. We've got a little bit of drink time left, so we might as well make the most of it, but 2 more 5-stars of the same species on Aurora Shores. but it's just so encouraging to see herds of caribou like this after so much time. We've got a 3-star mature down there on the left, and walking in the frame is a 4-star mature. And I don't know, maybe neither of them actually end up making it, but it's nice to see more high-star rating caribou, because for so long, every now and then we get a 4-star that would end up dying, and then maybe we'd get the 2 and they die of old age. Now we've got to a point where there's a bunch to watch in all these different locations, and you gotta feel like at least one, has a good chance of getting there. Now, as for managing the rest of this herd, probably not with the crossbow at 200 yards, but I don't notice anything that's uneven, and there's no like lowest star rating matures or anything else in here. That's a 1-star adult. He looks okay. And I think even the 1-star young's even. Rarely over here do we just have nothing to take, but I think that might be the case today. And that is very much a good problem to have. So instead, I think we'll try to take this 1-star adult mountain goat, which, much like the caribou, 1-star adults can be future 5-stars, but he doesn't look all that big. And we've taken plenty of 5-star mountain goat in the past, so it won't be the worst thing if he is actually a future good one. And admittedly, I didn't get to look that close at that one, but he looked particularly small for a 1-star adult, and that's one thing that's important. I'm going to do a video fairly soon on like managing your herds and genetics and age cycles and all that stuff. And one thing to do, in my opinion, is experiment. Learn what racks and what horns and stuff for younger ones are lower genetic potential. This guy's a 50%. He looked like he was a smaller adult, and you get to a point, especially with antlered animals, you know what racks just aren't going to amount to much, even as a 1-star young or a 1-star adult, and you can take them out much earlier than waiting for them to get big enough to be notably uneven or reach like 1-star mature and be an obvious call animal based on that. Those are important things to do. It's tough with mountain goats. Maybe it's just all anecdotal and there's actually not much visible evidence and we've been lucky, I don't know. But it's something that I think is important to actually just experiment. Sometimes it'll go bad, but in the end it should end up working out for the best. But I think on that note, as we reach the end of drink time, it's about time to place our 2 5-star Sitka, and I was thinking about maybe placing them where the 2 caribou are, but I think there's going to come a day where we get more 5-stars and can do something like that. I'd really like to do a multi-mount with them, at least for now. We know those rares are coming, that's probably going to move things around in the future, but for the moment, I think we could do a multi-mount on this little platform over here, which actually isn't great for moose and elk and stuff because their antlers tend to clip up through the ceiling. So, could we do a multi-mount 2 Sitka fighting? I think that should work. There shouldn't be any clipping there, so let's go with that. Gonna cost us about 2,000 credits to place them there, but actually that is pretty darn cool. I like the way that turned out, and I don't know. We might have another one we gotta go and get. That's a great problem to have, much like the caribou situation. We know there's Bison on the map that are on the way to 5-star. The other 4-star Sitka might get there. And who knows with the caribou? Maybe we've got more in the near future. A lot of times, that's the way in Way the Hunter. You spend so long trying to get a 5-star of a certain animal. Whitetail were a great example for us over on Nez Couldn't get one for like almost 6 months. And now I think we have like 5. It's just sometimes the way it goes. But it's really cool to see this lodge kind of filling up. I started, fairly early on placing decent looking 2-star mature caribou. We've got I think a 2-star Sitka here, just stuff because I wanted to see the lodge fill up as we weren't getting 5-stars. Now we're actually starting to get some good sized animals in here, and hopefully that only continues. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.